and a huge warm welcome to a very exciting live broadcast here on the YouTube channel directly from the Thompson & Morgan nursery. We're going to be bringing you some super exciting offers that you'll only see here on the YouTube channel. I'm Lance Russell. I look after all of our sales here at Thompson & Morgan, and I'm joined by Peter Freeman, who is our resident plant expert. He scours the globe, he looks for new plants, new products, always looking for the new, the exciting, and the very best plants to bring to market. Peter, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've worked in horticulture for over 40 years now, Lance, many, many years. I've been at Thompson & Morgan 20 years, and I'm a buyer and product development manager. And as Lance says, we go out and we look for all of the very best, the newest, the best breeding, really the best plants that we can bring you. Longest flowering period, most disease resistance, all of those sort of type things. All the important things that are really important to gardeners. But we're looking for those very best plants. And as you say, we go all over Europe. We go to trade shows all over the world as well.
And that is exactly what we're bringing you here today. So you're going to see lots of exciting offers, and you'll be able to shop them exclusively on YouTube. It's really, really easy to shop with us. So down the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you'll see a QR code. If you open up your smartphone on the camera app and you just hover that over the QR code, that will then take you directly to the Thompson & Morgan website, and you'll be able to see all of the offers that you will see here in this show today. And boy, oh boy, we've got some corkers, Peter. So alternatively, if you didn't want to do it that way, you want to just go onto the website, go onto thompsonandmorgan.com, you can shop the offers, but do remember to apply the offer code in the basket, which is TMTV1. Once you apply that in your basket, it will take down all of the prices to the discount prices you'll see here today. Now, we've got something really exciting coming up. We're actually starting off with a really tasty, fruity collection of our patio fruit tree collection. Now, the code is going to, for this one, is going to be KB7556, which is our patio fruit tree collection. We're bringing this to you today for over half price. So that's down from £50.97 to just £24.99. Now, that is a really, really tasty offer to kick it off, Peter. Tell us a little bit about this collection and what we're going to be getting in this collection.
Well, we've got a wonderful range of dwarf fruit trees here to start with. We've got three 9-centimetre fruit trees. So this is the sort of size of the actual plant you're getting. 9-centimetre deep pot, a plant of about sort of 45 centimetres tall, maybe a bit taller than that. And we've got some of the most popular fruit trees that you can buy in the UK. Let's have a look through the variety.
Please, yes.
Let's start off. Pear Conference to start with.
Oh, that one looks a tasty one.
It's the most popular of all the English pears. It's a great cooker, it's a great eater. Very firm flesh, very juicy flesh, but really, I say you can use it as a cooker or an eater. Self-fertile variety as well, so very easy to grow. All of these varieties here, dwarf fruit trees as well. Means they're only going to get to about 5, 6, 7 foot, something like that with regular pruning.
Good,
Great size, yeah. Especially for the smaller gardens as well. So many smaller gardens about these days. You can put them on patios, you can put them into tubs, containers, or into the garden. Second variety, Cherry Sylvia.
Ooh,
just love cherries. Nothing like picking a cherry straight off the tree and really eating it just as quick as you can. Lovely juicy fruit. Bright red berries. And really, these are some of the very best cherries that you can get. Then we go on to one of our favourite apple varieties, Apple Golden Delicious. Favourite of all the supermarkets, lovely, bright golden flesh. And really, I say, one of the most popular varieties that we can actually buy. Great little collection here. Great for the starter, beginner gardener. And these trees aren't going to get too big. That's the magic thing about these.
No, and cherries don't even last a couple of days in my garden. Once the cherries are in fruit on the tree, you know, that's it. I'm out there, I'm picking my fresh cherries, and you can be going out in the garden and picking your own homegrown produce. You know, you haven't been going to the supermarkets and having to go around with your trolleys and popping your fruit in there. You're in control of it. You can give them as much water as you want, the feed that you want. You know, they haven't had any nasty chemicals, no air miles. you can be growing your very own tasty fruit. So we're going to be receiving 3 of these size pots at home, Peter. Any tips for when we get these home? What should we be doing once we get these home?
I think once you get them back, really try, obviously unpack them out of the packaging as quick as you can. If they're that little bit dry, give them a really good water. And then really after that, I always think it's best with any plants, bulbs, whatever you're buying, get them planted out as quick as you can. Really, if you're putting these into a pot, great. Use a good multi-purpose fertilizer, compost.
Our Incredi compost.
Yep.
Shop it on the website. Absolutely ideal for that.
Absolutely ideal for that. Or even plant it into the border as well. And really, I say, great dwarf fruit trees. Ideal for the beginner. Ideal for those people who want really fresh fruit and favourite varieties.
And even if you don't have a lot of space, you know, space is a premium these days. If you just have a small terrace or a little balcony, you can just enjoy a few pots on there. You're not going to have big fruit trees that are going to get out of control. These are nice, dwarf and compact. They've been bred specifically for this, for you to be able to grow them and get tasty fruits at home. So for that offer there, you're getting 3 plants, but we have got the option to upgrade your offer, which would give you 5 plants in the collection. Now, the offer code for the 5 plants is KB6209, and that is just going to be £34.99 today. So you're getting all of the 3 plants that we've just talked about in the previous collection, but you'll also be receiving an additional 2 varieties, which Peter's going to quickly talk us through now, what you receive in the 5-pack collection.
So really adding to those 3, you've got this one here, wonderful plum called Black Amber, one of the really, really good, really juicy varieties, lots and lots of flavour. The actual fruits are sort of just bigger than sort of golf ball size. They're nice, big size fruits, they really are.
And it's almost like a black. You can see where it gets its name from, Black Amber. It's almost like a real black, like deep purple, rich purple.
That's right.
Black, isn't it?
And they really do sort of form in sort of clusters like that. You know, it's a nice, good, heavy fruiting variety as well. It really is. It fruits really well. This is a self-fertile variety as well. So absolutely ideal, again, as we say, for the beginner gardener. And then the actual 5th variety in the collection
this one looks a nice one.
is Apple Gala. Again, one of the favourites of all the supermarkets. Again, with this one here, different to Golden Delicious. This has lovely sort of really red, shiny fruit to it as well.
Glossy as well, isn't it?
Sort of typical sort of looking sort of supermarket type fruit, but being able to grow it at home yourselves and knowing all of the sort of history about it and picking it straight from the tree as well.
And actually a great thing if you've got grandchildren, you've got children, get them involved, get them growing, show them where the fruit is coming from. You know, you can be going out in the garden, the summertime's here, and you can pick your own fruit from the trees, but also fruit trees are of interest in the early part of the season, aren't they? Because the blossom.
No, exactly. They can look absolutely stunning in the spring, you know, in that sort of April, sort of May type period. You're going to have wonderful white blossom. Some of them have a sort of pinky blossom as well, but you're going to have wonderful blossom, which makes it, I always think of these as edible ornamentals. You know, you can eat the fruits, but the plants actually look really good at certain times of the year as well. And then obviously you get all the natural sort of autumn sort of leaf colours as well with these sort of trees as well. So you get the yellows and the sort of the slight oranges as well. Great colour really throughout the year. These are totally hardy plants. I say ideal for growing any sort of conditions in the UK.
Comes back year after year. And did you know, Peter, there's actually a term for an ornamental that's edible as well. And I've just spoiled it there. It's an edimental. So an edimental variety is something that looks good and tastes good out in the garden. So you're getting a win-win scenario. Be growing your own fruit, tasty fruit. Will we get a lot of fruit next year, or is this going to be, because these are going to come back year after year?
Come back year after year after year. So the first year, yeah, you're not going to get much fruit the first year. You know, I'd expect a few little fruits on there. Really, it's going to be the second year that you really start getting the fruit, and then more and more with subsequent years as well. You know, this is a plant that really, you know, you're investing in the future.
Yes.
And you'll have these plants for years and years and years. You really will.
Okay, so a quick reminder of the code there. That's KB6209 for our patio fruit tree collection, which gets you 5 plants for just £34.99. Honestly, I don't know how we've managed to do some of these savings today, because our sales team have been working super hard in the background to bring you these exclusive offers that you'll see directly here on our YouTube channel. It's really easy to shop with us. You can either scan the QR code by holding up your smartphone camera, just open up the camera app, hover over the QR code, it'll take you directly to the website, and you'll see all of the products that we've got here in the show today. Alternatively, you can go to the web link, which is thompsonandmorgan.com, thompson-morgan.com, and that's /TMTV1. You search the product code, but just remember in your basket to apply the offer code today, which is TMTV1, and that will bring down all of the prices. Now, we're going to be moving on to one of my favourite spring bulbs. And, you know, the daffodils come out in the springtime, the snowdrops often comes first, then comes the daffodils. It just brings that cheeriness of the yellowness and the bright yellows in the garden. We've got our Daffodil Dwarf collection, which is giving you 60 bulbs, code 81271, and we're bringing this to you today for over half price, down from £20.99 to just £9.99, or you can upgrade your offer pack to 120 bulbs, which is code KF4677, and that's down from £41.98 for just a little bit more there of £14.99. Now, I absolutely love daffodils. They bring so much cheeriness. Peter, tell us a little bit about what's so special in this collection that we're getting.
I love this collection here. This is dwarf daffodils. So these daffodils are only going to grow sort of 8 to 10 inches tall. It's a great collection if you want early colour. As Lance says, you know, it's going to give you colour at the start of the year. I always think that spring is just, you know, the gardening season is just about to start when you see daffodils coming up. These daffodils will start flowering from sort of late February, and they'll go on all the way through until April. Lovely varieties. You're getting 4 different varieties, 15 bulbs of each with the first collection, then obviously 30 bulbs of each if you're going for the second collection. You've got 4 varieties, so let's quickly go through the actual varieties as well. So this, I love the white variety here, one called Nivith, which will only get up to about sort of sort of 10 inches tall, something like that.
Oh, nice little size and compact.
It's a lovely size. And these sort of pure white ones are daffodils. They're sort of slightly unusual, these ones here. So I love this one here. Let me get down to the more sort of classic type colours
that's
here.
A really lovely one.
And then this one here is one called Martinet. Lovely variety here. You've got that lovely bright yellow petals, and then that really deep sort of orange trumpet.
Yeah.
I love the trumpets of the
nice contrast. Really
lovely,
nice
lovely contrast there. Then you go to one of the favourite daffodils and one of the most widely grown daffodils of all time. This is Narcissus, or daffodil tete-a-tete. And there are millions upon millions upon millions of these grown each year. It really is the favourite variety. Ideal for tubs, ideal for putting into borders, ideal for sort of naturalising in your soil as well. That is tete-a-tete. And then the last variety here, lovely. Again, just look at the actual colours here. You get the actual sort of bright golds, and then you've got that orange trumpet again. Wonderful, 4 different varieties.
Golden
15 bulbs of each. Golden Dawn, thank you, yeah. And this is the actual bulb size you're going to be getting. So these are flowering size bulbs. And looking at these bulbs, they're just starting to shoot already, which is just ideal for putting them into the ground. And you can see most of these are going to have at least 3 or 4 flower stems on. You can see that from what we're actually getting here already.
And actually, I've picked up a whammy here because that one's got a double on there. But these are really easy to plant. So usually you just have the one bulb there. So it's really easy to plant. You just literally plant 3 times the depth of the bulb. So down 3 times like that, obviously here's your soil surface, 1, 2, 3 like that, and that's the general rule of thumb with any bulb.
General rule of most bulbs, that's right, 3 times the depth. So this one here, you're going to be planting this about sort of 6 inches deep. Absolutely ideal. And I think really when you get these home, always best to plant them out as quick as you can. If you can't plant them out straight away, keep them in a cool place, in a dark place. And really then, you know, if you can plant them within a couple of weeks of getting them, that's going to be absolutely ideal. But plant them really as soon as you can. As soon as you plant them, as soon as they're going to get going.
And now is the time to plant. So now is the time for planting the bulbs. We've had that cold spell, the chilly nights are here, the ground's a little bit frosty. I would say though, if the ground is frosty when you do get these home, just wait until it's thawed out a little bit, then plant your bulbs. The sooner you get them in, the roots will be going down, they're getting themselves ready for the spring, and then that springtime comes. The winter days are over, the drab days are over, spring's here, we get the cheery yellow flowers in the garden, and even with the whites in this collection as well, you know, you're getting all of the colours in this collection. And it's just a resemblance that spring's here. Easy to grow as well. Full sun, part shade with these ones?
I think you could do either with these. You know, a lot of daffodils, you know, will grow in sort of the dapple shade of sort of woodlands and that sort of thing. So sun or part shade will be absolutely ideal. And yeah, lovely, lovely varieties here. They're going to be flowering early spring. So as we say, any time from sort of late February right the way through until early April.
Months of colour in your garden, and it's that time where there's not a lot of colour in the garden in the early part of the spring, so it's nice to bring some colour. The offer code for this one, for the 120 bulbs, is KF4677, and the price here today is just £14.99. An absolutely incredible offer. If you have just joined us, quick reminder how to shop. Down the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you'll see a QR code, and you literally just open up your smartphone camera, hover that over, it'll take you directly, and you'll see all of the offers. Add the offer code TMTV1, and that will reduce down the prices. It should already do it in your basket, but just add in that offer code on any of the products that you've seen in the show today that you want. Just add them to your basket, and that'll bring down the prices. Now, we're going to be moving on again to one of my tastiest fruits. I absolutely love growing these. It's one of the things I have a lot of breakfast time. It's the super tasty raspberry full season collection. Again, we've got two different codes here. The first code is 72388. And that's for 9 canes from £29.97. It's half price, this one, down to £14.99. Or if you did want to upgrade and go for a few more canes, so actually double the amount of canes, it's code 72389. That'll give you 18 canes, down from £59.94 to over half price again, £24.99. Now, Peter, tell me a little bit about this collection. I think I'm even tempted with this one myself.
I love these. I love raspberries. I really do. There's nothing like fresh raspberries, you know, picked straight from the bush. This is what you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting bare root plants. Now, the actual really bushy-looking root system there, as you can see, the actual stems here are about sort of a foot to 12 to 15 inches long. And you're going to be getting 3 canes of each variety, 3 varieties. And let's have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look. See what we're getting.
So really, the first variety here, this is the sort of the mid-season variety, mid to early season variety. This is one called Glen Prosen. Glen Prosen, lovely variety, juicy.
Looks juicy on the picture there.
And sweet taste to it as well. These are all 3 of these varieties are absolutely brilliant for growing in all the UK conditions, really. So really, Glen Prosen to start with. Then we move on to Glen Ample. Glen Ample is what we call one of the sort of mid to sort of late season varieties here. Again, masses and masses of big fruits, really good.
Yeah, they do. They look a bigger fruit there, don't they?
And it's got that lovely sort of sweet, sort of tangy taste to it. It really has. And then one of my favourites at the end here, Autumn Bliss. Autumn Bliss is one of the best varieties. It'll fruit from sort of late August all the way through, and probably virtually till the end of September. So it's that late summer, early autumn variety. Again, absolutely ideal, all easy to grow. All of these are going to get to about 5 to 6 foot tall eventually, and really create, give you lots and lots of fruit. It's going to give you a
succession of colours. So it's not just going to be, one variety that crops at one time. This is months of cropping that you're going to get. Now, you're going to be receiving, as Peter said, you're going to be receiving the bare root plants at home. So, you might look at this and thinking, oh my goodness, I've never planted anything like this before. What do I do with it when I get it home? So we're receiving these through the post. What should we be doing once we get these home, Peter?
Well, I think with these, the first thing to do, take them out of the packaging, and they'll have been in the post a couple of days. They really want a good soaking as soon as you actually get them home. Stick them in a bucket for a couple of hours or so, and then really, if you can plant them out quickly after that, it's going to be a really good idea. Get them in as quick as possible. The roots will get established quickly, and really then the roots start growing, and really then the whole plant really starts motoring after that. It really does.
And this is a dormant whip, so it's in its dormancy period at the moment, so it means all of the leaves have come off. It's actually in its dormant, so it won't know. Once you plant it in your soil, it'll acclimatise to your soil much quicker, and then what that means is actually you get a crop much quicker once you plant it into your soil, because the roots are then in direct contact with the soil. Will we be seeing a lot of fruit with these next year, or is it going to be, again, future years investment with these ones?
I think with any sort of fruit like this, certainly the first year, expect fruit off it, certainly, but it's really the second, third, fourth years after that you're really going to get lots and lots of fruit and really sort of start motoring. You really will. But, all of these varieties, really easy to grow, and they're going to give you wonderful fruit with a lovely, long harvest period as well.
So it actually won't be long, and you'll soon be picking all of your punnets, no more trips to the supermarkets. You can be enjoying your own tasty fruit from out in the garden, picking your own raspberries. But there is something else that enjoys eating the raspberries in the garden, and I always struggle with this as well. The birds absolutely love the raspberries. How do we get around that, Peter? What's your tip for that?
I mean, I'd certainly get my raspberries netted. If you can put a little net over them. First of all, when you actually are planting them, it's always best to put them up again with a sort of wire structure, so you can actually tie the stems actually into a sort of wire structure. So maybe a couple of little stakes or canes at either end with wire sort of suspended between it. Tie the canes in there, because these are going to get to 5 to 6 foot tall.
So they're a
decent size. And really, by actually tying them into a framework, it stops them from spreading out too far. It's easier to actually pick the fruit as well. And then obviously, if you are going to net the actual canes as well, it's actually easy to do it if you've got a sort of a cane or a stake at the end. Just
gives it a bit more support, doesn't it? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And end of the season pruning with these, do we give them a good...
I think with all of these, yep, certainly at the end of the autumn, you should be pruning them down. And then each year they're going to send up fresh shoots, and it's actually the new shoots that are actually going to produce the actual fruits on the stems later on that season. Yeah,
that's when the good bit comes. That's when you get to enjoy the fruits of your labour, of your own tasty raspberries grown in your own garden. Again, great to get the grandkids involved with. Show them where the fruit comes from. Show them where the raspberries are coming from. This one is actually proving super popular. So product code on this one is 72389, and that's just £14.99 for the 9 canes. Or if you wanted to go for the 18 canes, it's 72389, and that is just £24.99. Great price here for you today.
Just imagine that with some cream and sugar as well. Oh, I love it.
I actually have Greek yogurt on the morning with raspberries every single morning for my breakfast. So there's nothing better than tasty raspberries.
That's the healthy option, obviously, isn't it? Greek yogurt rather than cream and sugar.
Or you could make your own jams, and you could have raspberry jam, loads of Lurpak butter on there, and then slather your homemade raspberry jam on there. Now, we're going to be moving on, and it's actually one of my favourite cut flowers that you can grow out in the garden. I absolutely love an allium, whether it be a cut flower or you just enjoy them out in your borders in the garden. The code for the alliums, and actually it's going to be a whopping 100 bulbs that we're bringing you, code KA7914. Again, this one's half price, down from £19.99 to just £9.99 today. Peter, I'm looking at the screen and I'm thinking, my gosh, look at these big heads of the alliums. It's absolutely incredible.
I love alliums. It's one of my favourite bulbs. It really is. Favourite spring bulbs, I should say. There's all sorts of amazing bulbs you can buy. Look at the actual colours you can actually get here. There's going to be all sorts of heights of the actual stems of these sort of bulbs as well. You're going to get anything from 15 centimetres up to about 90 centimetres with these as well, with this myriad of colours here. So let's have a quick look through the varieties.
Yes, please.
So, Allium Cephalum here to start with. This is the drumstick allium. Love this variety.
It's a bit rare and unusual, this one.
It does look unusual, doesn't it? You get that combination of sort of the green and the actual sort of purple sort of flower heads as well. These things go up to about 60 centimetres tall. Absolutely ideal for putting into the middle of your border. Then you get Allium Caeruleum here. Unusual looking variety. Bright blue like this. It's not. No, the most common sort of colour is this sort of purple at the end here. That's the classic sort of allium colour. So this Caeruleum here, nice unusual allium. Then we go to a pink variety here. This is one called Roseum, only gets up to 15 centimetres
Sweet
tall.
One.
Lovely little variety here. Then you go on to Allium Molly. Again, yellow allium.
Golden yellow,
variety here. 15 centimetres again with that. So this is front of the border again. Then we move on to the two bigger varieties. We've got Allium Mount Everest here. This is going to get up to 90 centimetres tall. And I love these whites.
Yeah.
You know, my favourites are probably the purples, but a mixture of purple and white actually goes really well. Especially when you've got sort of 90 centimetres tall on these. They stand up, you know, they actually poke through. If you've got perennials, sort of plant them under sort of perennial plants, they'll grow up through the foliage and they'll just give you an extra layer of colour. They really will.
I love an allium, especially the ones that are, you know, the taller ones, the back of the border, you see them big globe heads. Yeah. And actually, even in the summer months when they're beautiful when they're in flower, but come the autumn, winter months, you know, you can leave them there, can't you, over the autumn, winter months?
I love it. They really, the actual flower head is replaced by the seed heads. They dry out. They have that lovely sort of strawy, sort of yellowy, sort of browny sort of look to them. And then when you actually get to the autumn and winter months, there's nothing like seeing the allium heads, nice big allium head covered in frost or snow. And it sort of really adds that extra texture, that extra structure, and that extra bit of colour to your borders.
Now, you're going to be receiving at home 100 bulbs. It's a mix of different sizes, so you're going to be getting some of the bigger ones, which tend to be the bigger varieties, which we've seen down this end here. But you'll also get the smaller varieties, which are the shorter ones, more compact ones that you said. Any tips for once we get these home? They'll all be individually labelled?
They'll all come in individual packs, so you know exactly which is each variety, and therefore which is each colour, and therefore which is each size as well. And then really, again, anything like this, really, if you can plant them quickly, plant them out quickly. If not, keep them in a nice, cool, dark area. We're sort of talking about garages or sheds, but you even said a sort of a cool sort of cupboard in the house as well. Anywhere where it's nice and cool, but really get them planted out as quick as you can. They're going to get established quicker and they'll come into flower quicker as well.
It won't be long. The summer will soon be here. We'll soon be enjoying those beautiful blooms out in our garden. And you can even enjoy these as cut flowers too. What I tend to do is I tend to buy one pack to keep out in the garden, to enjoy out in the garden, and then actually bring a pack in, grow a pack outside that I can use for cut flowers. And I mean, you think how much a bouquet of flowers costs these days. It's quite pricey. You're getting 100 bulbs here for just £9.99. And they come back year after year. You can be growing them in your garden. 100 bulbs. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
They don't only come back each year, though. They actually multiply up as well. So each year, you're actually going to be getting, you know, over the years, you're going to be getting more and more flower heads coming up as well.
And full sun, part shade, once we get these on?
Alliums are generally better in full sun. And the other thing, obviously, is the planting depth of the bulbs here as well.
Which is generally 3 times the depth.
3 times the depth,
yeah. So soil surface here, just 1, 2, 3 down like that. And then that's as easy as it is. You can almost put them in, forget about them. Can we put these pots, if we don't have a lot of space, big border space out in the garden, are they okay to go in pots?
They're absolutely fine to put in pots. In fact, you know, if you've got some pots, really they add that extra bit of colour and texture into pots as well. You know, a little shrub or a little bit of bedding plant. Plant these bulbs underneath them, and they actually come through the actual foliage. And you've got a lovely long flowering period with these sort of alliums as well here. You're really starting off from probably early March with the earliest flowering here, and then some of these bigger headed varieties here, you know, they're going to be flowering in May. So you've got a lovely sort of 3-month period where they'll actually be in flower. And then with the bigger varieties, as we say, you've got the seed heads afterwards. So you've got a lovely lot of interest, months and months of interest. You really have.
That's what we like. We love the colour out in the garden. We also love to see what you've been growing in your gardens as well. So please do send us some pictures. Anything you've bought from the show today, and if you grow it next season, or even if you've purchased from us in the past, or you've been out on your travels and you've spotted something, send us in your pictures. We absolutely love to see them. Customer picture at Thompson-Morgan.com. Send us in your pictures, and we might even be able to show them on the next shows. Bring them up. We love seeing me and Peter love to see what you've been, and we show everyone in the company what you've been growing and what you've been up to. So if you do want to shop that allium collection, that's KA7914, bringing you 100 bulbs down from £19.99, giving you a saving of £10. So over half price saving for just £9.99. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. And do you know what? I'm actually about to say again, but we're actually going to move on to one of my favourites. We've packed this show full of some of my absolute favourites, Peter's favourites as well, your favourites. And this is going to be the Agapanthus Blue and White collection, code KF9515, which will get you 6 bare roots of our blue and white collection. just £9.99. Or again, you can double up and go for the 12-pack option, which is KF9516, giving you 12 bare roots for just a little bit more of £14.99. Now, I'm getting excited about this one already, Peter. Tell me a little bit about Agapanthus.
Well, Agapanthus, it's a wonderful perennial, so it's a plant that'll grow up each spring, it'll flower prolifically, and then when the actual winter comes, it'll die down before then each year coming up bigger and better each year. So this is a wonderful collection of bare-rooted alliums. So this, bare-rooted Agapanthus.
We've got it mixed up with the last one.
So these are bare-rooted Agapanthus, and you're going to be getting in the smaller collection. You'll be getting 6 bare roots. You're going to be getting 3 of the white variety and 3 of the blue. Now the white variety is one called Polar Ice, and the blue variety is one called Queen of the Ocean. Ooh, wonderful varieties here, and they're one of these plants that love sunshine. The common name is called the African lily. They thrive on heat. They thrive on neglect. And really, it's one of these plants that you can go away on holiday for 2, 3, even longer if you wanted. And actually, the plants, they don't need a lot of water. They'll be able to survive whilst you're away.
This is music to my ears. Easy gardening, that's what we all like. Really easy to look after, not difficult. And these are from South Africa, aren't they? So they absolutely love a hot, sunny spot in the garden. So south-facing, if you've got that space, get them in, bake them in the sun. As Peter said, grow them on. They love having the roots restricted, so grow them on in a container. I actually pot mine out because I have a few in the beds as well. What I do is I submerge the pot actually into the soil. What that then does, because you can see here from the roots that we've got here, which is the roots you're going to be receiving, you can see the density of the roots. So once these get going and once these get down, they will wrap around the pot, and it's a thick white root. You'll see once you get them growing and really restrict that root. And what that will mean is you get more flowers. And actually, my Agapanthus were in flower just until a couple of weeks ago. It's only really once we've had this cold spell that they've started to go back a little bit. But even now, they're still looking quite good in the garden. They're just, they're a little bit more brown, but it's still giving that little bit of interest in the garden.
That is, and again, it's another plant, a bit like the alliums we were talking about just now, that actually after they finish flowering, they'll create seed heads. So again, it's that extra bit of interest. These flowers will be will be a good couple of feet above the actual ground level, sort of 6 to 8 inches above the foliage. So it's going to, it creates that little bit of structure, that little bit of height in the border as well. But they, as you say, they love this. They love being baked. They really do. Yeah, ideal for pots and slants. There's absolutely ideal. If the roots are restricted, they just flower better and better and better. But again, I've got them planted in, a bit like you, planted in pots and in borders. It's a wonderful plant, it really is.
And so we're going to be receiving, obviously, if you are going for the 6-pack or the 12-pack option, 6-pack, you'll get 6 plants, 12-pack, you'll get 12 of these. How kind of deep should we be planting these once we get them home, Peter?
So again, with these ones, so you can just see the actual shoots at the top here. So really, I'd be planting that just underground, under the sort of the ground level. So really, so that when the tips start growing, they haven't got too far to sort of come through the surface. So really, plant them out as quick as you can. When you do get them, if they are looking just that little bit dry, again, put them in a bucket of water just to get them really nice and moist and really sort of saturate them. But then really, again, plant them out as quick as you can. If you can't plant them out immediately, again, do what you do with the bulbs with them. Put them into a cool, dark area until you can. But always better to plant them out as quick as you can.
Quick as you can. Get them in, get the roots going down. And you do obviously just remember to pop your roots down. As Peter said, the tips there, pop your roots down, and then that'll mean the plant can get itself anchored. It'll soon be summertime. We're going to be enjoying, and these are June, July, the flowering usually. That's
right, really. I suppose sort of July. It's just that I always think of them as summer flowering, really. So it's going to be that sort of late June, July, and then really through, and some of them go through until September. So certainly some of the later flowering ones, even October. But amazing plants. I love Agapanthus,
absolutely love Agapanthus. And if you're on your coastal trips down to the seaside, you often see them there. They grow so well. Often on the south coast, you see them in big arrays with the big globe heads. They're just such a beautiful plant, perennial, so they come back year after year. You're going to get years of enjoyment from these.
Certainly reminds me of my summer holidays. It always does. Getting down to the coast, anywhere near the coast, and you're bound to see agapanthus on these sort of, any sort of seaside areas where they get absolutely baked by the sun. You're going to see agapanthus.
Even I love the sunshine. I think that's why I like agapanthus so much. And talking of sunshine, like if you do forget to water them, you are off on your holidays. These can go a week probably without water. Just when you get back, give them a good drink. Feed probably, every couple of weeks, agapanthus?
I'd have thought with those, every sort of couple of weeks, every month or so. I always think it's important, if you can, just to give them a quick feed over the winter months as well. They take in that real goodness, so they really, when they get going in the spring, they've really got all the nutrients they need really to make them flower to full potential. But great flowering plant. Great
plant indeed. So a quick reminder of the offer code there. That's KF9516 for the 12 bare roots for just £14.99. Or if you didn't want the 12 bare roots, you can go for the 6-pack option, which is KF9515 for just £9.99. Now, coming on trend lately, there's been a big surge, not just about growing plants outdoors and in the garden, but people are actually starting to grow plants inside as well. And house plants, they were fashionable a lot in I think it was the 80s, and now they've really started to come back on trend. And what we're going to be bringing you next is one of our best-selling, actually, houseplant collections, and it's our air purifying plant collection. You're getting 3 plants, code KB3599, down from £29.99, and we can bring this to you today for just £19.99. Now, it is really, really easy to shop with us. Down the bottom left-hand side of the screen, you'll see the QR code. Hover up your smartphone camera to that. It'll take you directly to the website. Alternatively, go to thompson-morgan.com/TMTV1. You'll see all of the products in there. Add them to your basket. The offer code should already apply, but for this broadcast only, it's TMTV1, which will give you all of the exclusive discounts. Now, Peter, tell us a little bit about this air purifying collection. Why is houseplants so popular? Why is this collection so popular?
This collection popular because I think it's so easy to grow. We really have picked out 3 of the most easy varieties to actually grow here. You've got spider plants here. This is the variegated spider plant here. Wonderful, very easy to grow plant. It's a plant that you can grow virtually anywhere in the house. It's particularly good in sort of bathrooms and sort of places like that as well, where perhaps there isn't a huge amount of light. Spider plants here, very easy to grow. Then you go on to the variegated snake plant. I also know this as mother-in-law's tongue. I love it. And I love the name.
That one to your mother-in-law. Also, maybe not avoid buying your mother-in-law one of these ones.
But it's a great plant and really very thick, fleshy leaves. Really very easy to look after. It's another one of those plants that can actually thrive on neglect. It can go for quite a long while without being watered. Very easy to grow. And then at the end here, you've got the peace lily, spathiphyllum.
Oh, this one's a lovely one,
which again, lovely foliage. But then you also get these big sort of white flowers that actually come out, flower heads that come out as well. These are still in the sort of tight bud stage at the moment, but they'll open up to a sort of a cone-shaped, bright white flowers.
So what you'll see in here is this is what we call a grower's pot. So it's the pot that we've grown the plant on in, and these decorative pots aren't actually included, but you can shop these pots on the website if you did want them. Go to our website, we've got lots of pots on there. I will just turn that and show you that quickly. So what we do is I always water into the bottom. You don't need a lot of water, maybe just a centimetre in the bottom, rather than watering over the top. What the plant will then do is it allows the plant to soak up the water that it needs, rather than, because actually some plants can rot if you're constantly watering in on the top there. Again, you can just add a centimetre of water. If you're going away, you're away for a few days, then you don't have to be constantly watering. They've got that water in the bottom, but they'll just take up.
That's right. They'll take up what they need. Now that's the great thing about it. I think by watering that way, you're not forcing the plant and getting the soil and the compost too wet. So yeah, ideal way of doing it. But 3 very easy plants to grow. And again, taking plants inside, I think it softens many rooms actually. Putting a plant in the corner of a room, it's just that extra feature. There's extra sort of indoor furniture virtually. And it looks great, and I've got lots of houseplants in my house, and I just love them.
And if you think about it, a lot of homes these days are like the greys, the whites, the beiges. So actually bringing that pop of greenery in and freshness that's going to purify the air as well. It's just that it can transform a room. I've got houseplants in all of my rooms at home. You wouldn't have guessed it, but every single room's got a houseplant in. And it's just knowing that it's doing something good for the air. You know, it's purifying the air. It's really, really important. And you can see why actually this one's becoming one of our best sellers. So if you do want to shop that one, that's KB 3599, bringing you to a really special price today of just £19.99, which is an absolutely amazing price. It's down from £29.99. Now, we're going to be moving on again, and coming up next, it's a clematis, but it's not a clematis that, would usually flower in the summer. We're often, summer, early spring, late spring, flowering in the clematis. This one, what we've got coming up is Clematis Winter Beauty. Peter's going to tell us all about it in a minute. Code here for this one is 10445 for 7 centimetre plants. So you're getting 3 of them, down from £35.99 to just £19.99. Peter, ever since we started selling this plant here at Thompson & Morgan, it's been so popular. And just tell us why is the Clematis Winter Beauty the buzzword?
I think it's a great plant. It's an unusual plant. It's a sought-after plant. You don't see it about too often either, actually. You're getting 3 of these 7 centimetre plants. Lovely variety.
Look healthy as well. Really
these
nice.
are lovely, healthy plants. The great thing about them is they're evergreen. They're going to give you leaf colour throughout the year. There's not too many clematis that are like that, but also you're going to get these stunning white flowers in the winter. These are going to be flowering in January and February. So you've got interest, really. When there's not a lot else about there, when everything else is looking really dull and drab and sort of, the gardener's gone to bed virtually. These haven't gone to bed. These are actually giving you a wonderful amount of these brilliant, pure white flowers. Now, actually, I say pure white, but actually when they're in bud, they're actually sort of lime green colour before they actually open up. But then they open up to these amazing white flowers.
Pure white, isn't it?
These sort of light, sort of yellow sort of centres in the middle there. But they're slightly scented as well. So all sorts of interest here. The flowers are going to be sort of a couple of centimetres, 2-3 centimetres across. But you get lots and lots of these sort of clusters, these lovely small flowers. And it really, this white in the winter really does pop against the bright, evergreen foliage.
And actually, it has got a little bit of scent to it as well.
Yeah.
So, if you've got by your back door, you want to go out there, you want to get that. It's like honey fragrance.
I think that's right. That's right. Yeah. And really, fragrance in clematis it's unusual. So again, this just makes this particular variety, Winter Beauty, even more unusual.
Why would you not want to buy this Winter Beauty? Because I've got some untidy walls and sheds that I think, I'd love to have something up there. And I put clematis up there, I put jasmines up there, but then they all die down in the winter months. And actually, it's quite nice to have something, it's dark, it's dull, there's not a lot of colour in the garden. And actually, you can bring this climber to cover those areas, or you might even have a pergola. I've just had a pergola installed in my garden recently. I want some climbing plants up there. And actually, you can mix it up so that you've got that year-round seasonal interest. You haven't just got your summer climbers in there. You can mix them in together. Would you say for this borders, I guess, I think pots as well?
I think you can put them in pots as well. It'll add extra bit of interest to your sort of patio. It'll give you evergreen colour on your patio during the winter if you were to put them into pots. But as you say, ideal for putting it over sheds or fences. Fences and walls is going to be absolutely ideal. They will need some sort of support, so a bit of trellis or a little bit of wire work or sort of canes behind them just to help them climb up the actual surface. But really, they're lovely varieties, as I say, unusual, sought after, and just an all-round lovely
winner.
Plant. Unusual.
I'm going to definitely be getting one of these for my garden. And if we are going to go into a pot, you just say multi-purpose compost, obviously frequent watering, sun, part shade. Where should we?
I think with this, they'll certainly take part shade. It's one of those plants that will be sun or part shade, so very good for that. And really, ideal for a pot. Remember, you're getting 3 of these. It's not just one plant you're getting 3 of these 7 centimetre pots with this offer here as well.
Healthy plants as well. down to a really special price today of just £19.99. So if you do want to shop that, that's the code 10445, down from £35.99, saving you £16 today of £35.99. Now, I cannot believe where this year has gone. Like, where has the year gone? It was really cold to start with. We didn't have a lot of warm weather. And now, all of a sudden, it's December. It's like, where has the year gone? Like, Christmas is around the corner. We have to start thinking about those Christmas gifts that we're going to buy everyone. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet, Peter?
I've done a little bit of Christmas shopping, but not a lot. So yeah, ideal.
So this one coming up then might be of interest for you. So this is what we've got coming up is our Christmas cactus tricolour, code KA8223. Down from £18.99 to just £12.99. So if you have got that gardener in your life that, you know, you're struggling to know what to buy them, you're stuck on gift ideas, actually, what a lovely gift to receive. You know, I often take, you know, a bottle of champagne or a bottle of Prosecco on Christmas Day. Why not replace that with a lovely gift like this?
It'll last a lot longer than a bottle of champagne, wouldn't it?
It certainly will, especially in my house it would. And this will last over, like you said, up to 20 years people have had Christmas cactuses in their garden.
They just get bigger and better each year. Each year they'll send out more and more flower, more and more bud. And, you know, this plant here, probably only about 6 to 8 inches tall, same sort of width, but really after that sort of 8, 15, 20 years, you know, they're going to be 18 inches tall. They're going to be sort of a couple of foot wide. They can really create wonderful big plants. The beauty of this particular one here, you've got 3 different actual flower colours on the actual plant here as well. This is a tricolour variety. So you've got the white, you've got the pink, you've got the red flowers. And really with the plant you've got in your hands there, Lance, you can see already you've got plants out fully. You've got so many buds, so many buds to follow through there. It really is going to be giving a lovely lot of real colour and real sort of interest, you know, over the Christmas period and well into sort of January, February as well.
And it flowers this time of year, which is rare that, you know, you often see flowers at Christmas. You know, we often think of the poinsettia being that classic Christmas plant. Well, actually, this one's actually becoming really trendy and a lot of people are replacing this for the centerpiece of the table. So what you're seeing here is actually what you're going to be receiving at home, which is this lovely cream zinc pot. It's all going to be gift wrapped. You've got the lovely ribbon around there as well. So actually, you know, if you have got relatives that live far and wide, then what you can do is just pop in their address on the website. You can even put a lovely message on there as well. Send them a lovely gift. And what a nice thing to receive in time for Christmas as well. So it's delivered in time for Christmas. It's going to last them 20 years. Is this quite easy to look after, Peter?
They're easy to look after. You mentioned poinsettias earlier, the other classic Christmas plant. These are so much easier to look after. They really are. It's as the name suggests, a cactus. It's got succulent leaves. It's got no spines on it.
Yeah, even though it'd be spiky, wouldn't it?
Even though it looks like it's a bit spiky, they're not spiky at all. So they're really sort of friendly. But they're succulent leaves. It's that typical sort of succulent sort of cactus type leaf.
Yeah,
fleshy leaf is probably a very good way of describing it. And then really water it exactly the same way as you were talking about the
bottom of the pot. So we haven't got no drainage holes in the bottom there. So you just literally water in, take the grower's pot out, because there's a grower's pot in here, water into the bottom, probably centimetre again.
I think about a centimetre, let the plant take it up. And, you know, that it's probably only going to need watering once every, I'm going to say nearly every 2 weeks with a centimetre of water. You know, it's a cactus. It doesn't need too much water. It's very easy to grow.
Yeah. You've got all of the 3, which is very rare. You know, that's something that we pride ourselves at Thompson and Morgan. We're always looking for something that everybody recognises, a little bit of a classic twist to it, and you're getting all 3 colours on one plant. You're getting the pink, the red, and the white. This one is proving super popular. I knew it would be. Every year at Christmas it sells out. Code for the offer is KA8223, and that is down to just £12.99. It's a really, really good price. Perfect for that gift idea, but do be quick for that one if you do want to shop it. Remember, it's really easy to shop. QR code on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Just hold up your smartphone. That'll take you on the camera app. It'll take you directly to the product page. And then you'll see all of the offers. Or alternatively, just remember to use the offer code. So offer code in your basket is TMTV1. And then obviously we've got each individual offer, which you'll see the product code at the top left-hand side of the screen. Now, I can already feel Peter's excitement in the room with this one, because I know that this is one of his favourite ones coming up, and that is our Narines. And you're getting 20 bulbs here, code 73631. And that's down from £39.96. Is that right? £14.99? This is absolutely incredible. Peter, tell us a little bit about it.
So you're getting 20 bulbs. 20 bulbs. This is an unusual bulb. This really is. You know, most bulbs you think about, they're flowering in that sort of spring, sort of through until the late spring, early summer. This is an autumn flowering bulb that you're planting now. Allium, this is Allium bodinii. I just love it. It's one of those, it's a plant that's actually got the Royal Horticultural Society Award of Garden Merit.
Gardening Oscars.
Outstanding garden performance. The Royal Horticultural Society really do recommend this variety. It's a lovely variety, it really is. It's going to flower on stems that are about 18 inches tall. You're going to get flower heads, which have about, I don't know, 8, 10, 12 of these single little flowers in the flower head, sitting above a stem, which is sort of 18 inches tall, something like that. But they're going to be flowering late August, September, and into October. They're going to be flowering really when the rest of the sort of the bedding plants just starting to disappear. Probably a lot of the garden is just starting to, you know, take on that sort of autumn winter look. But you're going to get a splash of this wonderful, bright pink.
Need your sunglasses for this one.
I just love this. The common name for this is Guernsey lily as well. It's a lovely variety. And
is that because they're grown out in Guernsey?
They grow a huge amount out in Guernsey as well. They really do. It's a lovely variety. Now, this is different from all the other bulbs that we've sold today. We were telling you with the other bulbs, you plant them 3 times the depth of the bulb. Narines are different because they're autumn flowering, but make sure you don't plant these too deep. You want to make sure the actual top of the bulb is still above ground level. So you just want to be seeing that top sort of centimetre above ground level. They like to have the actual bulbs sort of baked by the sun. They like the a little bit of the bulb out
as well, aren't they? Yeah.
Guaranteed flowering first year, so these will give you flowers in the first year. Again, like with any of the plants we've sold today, you know, get into the 3rd, 4th, 5th year, they're going to be flowering so much better. And with Narines, they actually bulk up all the time as well. They're producing little bulblets off the side of the bulbs here. So each year, you know, they're going to be producing more bulbs. So your clump, if you're planting them in clumps, and I'd advise you plant in clumps, you've got 20 bulbs in this collection. So personally, if I was sort of planting these out, I'd perhaps divide that into 3, but sort of 7 bulbs.
Nice clumps,
3 nice clumps of 7 would be great. And then literally, you know, you get 4 or 5 years down the road, there'll be many more bulbs actually in that group there.
And you can be giving them to your friends and neighbours then, you know, you'll have that many that you can divide them out. And it's really easy, isn't it? You just, is it a plot like spading and just literally divide some out and then...
That's right. When the clumps get big enough to move, literally just sort of break the clumps up. I'd sort of leave them, you know, sort of 5 or 6 bulbs in a clump there, move them on. And really, you know, you can plant them into different parts of the garden. You know, you're creating your own new plants, your own little nursery.
And would you say, so whereabouts in the garden? Is it full sun, part shade?
They prefer a sunnier position. I think they could tolerate a little bit of shade, but really, whenever you see them, you normally see them in sunny positions.
Nice sunny spots, yeah. And if you think about that time of year when these flower, like you said, there's not a lot of flower in that time of year. I mean, it tends to be mad dahlias that last that later on, but actually to have this explosion of colour, and you know, it's like that trumpet shape. You need your sunglasses on. You've got that really, you can look out your back door, all the garden's starting to die down a little bit, prepare itself for winter, and then you've just got this hot pop of bright pink colour coming from the Narines. I think this one's definitely going to have to be going into my garden. So a quick reminder, if you do want to shop for that one, that's 73631, and that's just £14.99 today. Really, really good price and saving that we've got there. Now, I know that these ones are going to be really, really popular because I've never seen the price this good. It's so good, and you're getting 2 3-litre plants coming up of our, and Peter will explain in a minute, these are Fatinia Red Robin standards. So Peter will talk us through what a standard is and what we're getting. These are half price, code KA6850, down from £69.98 to just £34.99. Peter, tell us a little bit about these, because I mean, I'm just looking at them and they look like they're ready to go straight away. We haven't got any growing on or anything here to do.
This is a big bulky plant already, so this is what we actually call a patio standard. So a patio standard is a plant that has a clear stem of a good 60 centimetres. Looking at these here, that is a good 60 centimetres, probably more like 70 centimetres. But then it's got a head, a lollipop head, which is what we refer to as the standard here. So that head there is at least sort of 30 centimetres round. So what is Photinia? Photinia is a hardy evergreen shrub, but it's a hardy evergreen shrub with a difference. All of the new foliage comes out an amazing red colour. If you look at the actual sort of tips of the leaves here, you can actually see some here. The red colour at this time of year isn't so good. And we'll see a photo in a minute, actually. Oh, there we are. That's what it is. That's what those are going to look like
rich red.
In the spring. You know, you get that vivid red. All of those new shoots are going to be that colour. So it's going to give winter, it's going to give all year round interest. And it's one of those plants I think is absolutely ideal for putting into pots. It really is. Putting them into pots like this, you can actually see here, put that on either side of a door. It's going to frame a door. It's going to frame an entrance into your garden, or it's going to break up things on your patio as well. I say they're evergreen, so they're going to be looking good for the 12 months of the year.
And coming up the driveway, you know, you've framed your front door piece, you've got your it's had that statement piece, you know, it's a real focal point, you know, or even your back door, these would look really nice. Or if you did want it to go out into the borders as well, you could pop them out in your borders, you know, quite nice center of a bed, and then you can plant out around it, have it as a nice focal point in the middle. You haven't got loads of growing on to do, you know, this is an established size plant. You're getting 2 of these as well. So they're ready to go straight away. It's that instant gardening, you know, it's instant impact. You get these home, literally all you have to do is pretty much unbox them. If you were to be going into a pot with these, Peter, what size pot would you be recommending?
Well, I'd certainly be recommending something at least twice the size of it's actually they're actually potted up into in the middle. I'd be going for something that's a good sort of 14 inches wide, something like that. That'll give it a good few years. You can actually keep it in the pot there. And really, ideal for, going into pots. I think in some ways they're better in pots. Absolutely fine in the garden as well.
Them around
this actual shape, it's so good for putting into pots. And we were talking about bulbs earlier. If you did want to put this into a pot, ideal for putting the little alliums around the bottom there, or the little daffodils around the bottom there, just to give that extra bit of colour during those spring months as well. It just adds more and more interest.
Yeah, and these are instant interest when they get these home. These are really proving super popular, so please do be quick for these ones. KA6850 gets you 2 3-litre standard plants, half price today for just £34.99. Now then, there's been a big buzzword in the gardening industry, and I've heard everybody talking about it lately. Everybody is talking about this new verb of gardening, which is strulch. And everybody is like strulching it. And the code that we've got coming up for you, it gets you 2 strulches. Peter's going to tell us all about the product in a minute. KC3827 gets you 2 100-litre bags of strulch for just £24.99. Peter, tell me a little bit about strulch and why the new raving craze.
Well, strulch is totally new. I think it's only been about a couple of years. When I first saw this product, I was really sceptical about it. Didn't know whether it was going to work, so I trialled it at home. It's a straw-based organic mulch is what it is. This is the size of the actual bag you're going to get here as well. This is 100 litres. This is. You're going to be getting 2 of these bags, aren't you, lads?
Actually, not that heavy. You'd think, you'd look at the size of this bag and think, oh, that's a Ricker's compost bags and stuff. They can be really heavy. Actually, it's on the lighter side. And, these are delivered directly to your door. So, you haven't got to be going to the garden centre, back-breaking, lugging them into the car. These are delivered directly to your door. You literally just get them home, and then you can start strulching pretty much straight away. So why is Strulch? What is so good about Strulch, Peter?
Well, Strulch, I love Strulch. As I say, I was sceptical to start with, but I swear by the stuff now. All of my beds are actually mulched in Strulch these days, and it's got so many good positive points about it. Firstly, obviously, it's organic. I mean, that's great
organic, yeah.
And it's got a lovely sort of fresh, sort of, I don't know, composty type smell to it. It really has.
Rich, earthy smell to it, yeah.
But it has so many other benefits. It keeps weeds down. It suppresses up to 95% of all weeds as well.
That's so impressive.
Yeah, it keeps moisture in the soil as well. So over those hot summer months, really, it's helping you to actually keep moisture within the soil. It's cutting down the watering you have to do. It also, in the winter months, it'll create that insulating layer as well. It'll help keep frost out of the ground. So there's more tender perennials, more tender plants you've got. You were talking about dahlias earlier. Yeah. Put a layer of this Strulch over a dahlia. It just stops the frost getting into the ground and sort of attacking the ground of the plants.
And actually, a lot of people lift dahlias. You know, you lift your dahlias, you store them in a cool, dry place over winter. But what a lot of people are actually doing now is putting a layer of Strulch on top, and then it's just giving the plant that extra bit of protection. How deep, what sort of depth would you be saying apply over the top to give it?
I think for a good mulch, I think I'd be putting sort of 2.5 to 3 centimeters deep. And that will really sort of help keep everything down. It really will. But it's also got other benefits as well. Slugs and snails, it'll keep slugs and snails away. They don't like Strulch. So if you've got things like hostas, delphiniums, lupins, all sorts of other perennials in your garden.
Feast of the slugs.
I know. It'll keep the leaves looking good because it'll keep the slugs and your snails off. So great against that. But also other sort of benefits. It enriches the soil. It really does. It improves the soil structure as well when it actually rots down as well. So many benefits. And it's natural. It's organic, as we said. But I suppose the main feature about it is it just makes the garden and your beds look so neat and tidy. Put a layer of this all over and have plants growing up through it. It really does look great.
Yeah, and that's what I've found. You know, I used to spend hours bending down, back breaking. We all hate it. Out in the garden, doing the weeding. You just think the summertime, you think, oh, is this ever going to end? Actually, obviously, if you've got the big, thick weeds, then you will still need to pull those out. But by applying a layer of Strulch, what that means is it stops all of the weed seeds on the top of the surface from emerging, and it actually blocks them out up to 95%. Also, not only that, you know, once you've applied a layer of this on your soil, it completely transforms the top of your soil. It actually looks like, you know, your beds have been nicely tilled, and, you know, you haven't got to go around with your fork and tilling all the soil up. Just actually apply this layer.
Low maintenance is
which
the real
is what
thing
we
about
like.
these. It really is. Yeah.
We really like that, and it's really important. You know, time is becoming really precious these days. We don't all have a lot of time, so to be able to have these shortcuts is really, really handy. So I couldn't recommend Strulch enough. It's a really, really nice product. If you do want to shop for that one, that's KC 3827, and you can see here, you know, that will transform your beds. That is what the tops of your beds will be looking at. Bringing that to you for a price today of just £24.99. Now, we're going to be moving on to one of our last products. I cannot believe where this store has gone. We've brought you so many exciting offers. It's absolutely flown by. I've had loads of fun. I'm sure you have as well, Peter. But actually, our last offer, we've saved the best till last, because what we've got coming up next is a massive bumper collection of daffodils and alliums. We're bringing you 160 bulbs, so it's the most we've seen in the show, KF6648, and we're bringing it to you down from £69.28. This can't be right. £16.99 we're bringing it to you today. I'm looking at the screen here. I'm seeing all of this bright cheeriness of colours. We've seen the alliums earlier in the show, but actually what we're bringing you now is the double whammy. We're bringing you everything in this collection, aren't we?
That's right. It's an amazing collection. So you've got all the alliums. You've got 100 alliums there. You've got 60 dwarf daffodils as well. You're going to have colour from any time from sort of February right the way through. This is flower colour right the way through from February right the way through until the end of maybe even June. With a lot of the alliums, you're also going to have the seed heads that carry on much longer than that, look good for such a long time of the year, but you're going to get 6 different alliums. You're getting 4 different types of daffodils.
And loads of colour as well from the alliums. You know, it isn't just the one colour of alliums. You're getting all of the different colours, which, Peter, can you just talk us through some of the varieties?
Through them very quickly. So we've got 6 different types of alliums. You've got allium sarcocephalum here to start with. You can give me 30 bulbs of that. I love the combination of the green and the purple on this particular variety here. 60 centimetres
tall. You see that in an allium,
no, it's not. They're normally sort of one sort of mono colour.
One colour.
This has this lovely sort of two-tone colour. Moving on to a bright blue one here. Now, this is unusual for alliums. It really is. This is allium caeruleum. Again, lovely variety. This will be about 60 centimetres as well. So you're getting all sorts of combinations of different sort of heights here as well. Going down to the smaller varieties here, pink flowered variety here, allium roseum.
Nice lovely to have variety. A pink one in the collection.
15 centimetres.
Little dainty one,
Just look at the colours. All that myriad of colours.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's really nice.
Bright yellow allium molly. This is one of the really small growing ones, 15 centimetres or so. Lovely, lovely variety there. Then you get onto the bigger, what I call the really bigger, taller growing varieties. Yeah, you got allium Mount Everest here, 90 centimetres tall, and my favourite at the end there, purple sensation again, 90 centimetres. Yeah, but the flower heads also with these, you know, they're 90 centimetres tall, but the flower heads on top of them, you know, they're going to be a good 8 inches across, something like that. So they're big, big flower heads. And when the flower heads actually die off, you're left with the seed heads, which really lasts well through until probably after Christmas. So it gives that extra interest throughout the year.
And actually, we've got some snow with the talking about the snowy days coming up and the frostier days. Actually, when you see an allium out in the garden and the snow's landed on the top or it's got a little bit frosty, it's really nice to have that structure. And it looks architectural in the garden, having those bits still left around. But that's not just everything that you're getting. We're also giving you daffodils. So Peter, talk us through some of the daffodils. That
this is the dwarf daffodil collection here. So you'll be getting 4 different varieties here. So this variety here, this is one called Golden Dawn, one of the classic varieties. Lovely sort of bright golden petals with the orange trumpet. You're then moving on to perhaps the most widely grown of all of the actual dwarf daffodils. This is one called Tete-a-Tete. There are millions upon millions upon millions of these.
One of the most bestsellers.
One of the bestsellers, the most widely grown variety. All of these are going to be sort of 10, 15 centimetres tall, something like that. So they're low growing. They really are. Ideal for pots and containers and that sort of thing. And then we've got 2 varieties here. We've got white variety here, which is called Navith. And then we've also got Marinette over here as well. Another one of these classic sort of yellow and sort of orange classic colours.
So we're going to be receiving bulbs when we get them home. We're going to be I keep picking up this double whammy here, but this, so you usually get just the one bulb, but sometimes the bulb can come out and split into 2. So you'll be getting lots of bulbs like this when you get them home, which is the daffodils, and then alliums, you'll be getting various different sizes like this. What should we be doing once we get these home?
I think, again, the quicker you plant them out, the better, the quicker they're going to get established. So if you can plant them out straight away, if you can't, put them into a cool, dark place and just keep them, they'll keep there a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks. Best to get them as quick as possible, though, if you can, plant them out straight away. And it'll give you colour this spring. That's the main thing.
And if you don't have like a shed or a garage or anything like that, I actually keep mine in the kitchen cupboard. As long as it's a cool, dry, there's not a lot of moisture in the air. As long as it's a dry place, then just pop them in there until you're ready to plant. As long as the ground isn't frosted or waterlogged, then you're good to plant. Sooner you get these in, then springtime's going to be, well, obviously they'll start getting the roots down pretty much straight away. Springtime's going to be soon here, and then we're going to start to enjoy those beautiful blooms. And it's not just going to be, 1 month of colour here. We're talking months of colour, succession of colour. Not just this year either. This is an investment piece for future years as well, because these are perennial bulbs.
That's right. These are all totally hardy bulbs, so they're going to come up year after year after year. Not only that, they're going to be multiplying as well. Bulbs multiply naturally. So, the clumps are going to get bigger and better each year. As we say, it's an investment. Planting bulbs like this is an investment in the future. They're going to get bigger, better, more colour each year.
So when you're out on your spring walks and you're seeing all those daffodils in flower, don't have that spring envy of, I wish I'd planted my bulbs. It'll be too late then. Get in there now. Get your bulbs ordered. get them home, get ready to get planting, and then you'll be enjoying them in your garden. And if 160 bulbs is a lot, you know, you might have some friends, some neighbours. It's always nice to be able to share, or even Christmas is coming up. What a nice gift to give somebody, you know, here, grow some bulbs, and they can then grow them out in their gardens. If you do grow stuff from the show that you've bought with us here today, or if you've purchased from us in the past, do send us in some pictures. We really, really enjoy seeing what you've been growing. Me and Peter are always looking through the pictures, so please do send them in. Customer picture at Thompson-Morgan.com. We'll see your picture, and we might even be able to show them on some of the next broadcasts coming up. And I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but actually, we're running out of time here. It's been an absolutely incredible, really busy first show. I really hope that you, everyone at home, has enjoyed watching us here today and bringing you these exclusive offers. Peter, thank you so much. It's been really, really good. I've really enjoyed it, and we hope you have too. But for now, see you all later. Thanks so much for joining us on this Thompson & Morgan live broadcast here from the nursery.